On May 6, 2023, the global architecture booted up the latest iteration of a recurring system variable. A new King Charles took the throne. To understand what this avatar actually represents, we have to run a diagnostic on the source code of the name Charles. We need to verify if this string contains original programming or recycled data. The mainstream historical records we rely on act exactly like developer patch notes. They provide a surface-level explanation of events, while routinely masking the actual logic running the software. Accepting those official documents at face value prevents us from seeing the algorithmic patterns dictating the reality around us. The official historical directory claims that the name Charles evolved from the Old High German word Karal, meaning man. Over time, they say, this morphed into Carl and eventually Charles. But running a structural check on that dataset reveals a syntax error. The official Latinized version of the name is Carolus. Linguistically, there is no bridge connecting the Germanic root Karal to the Latin output Carolus. Historians provide no mathematical or structural mechanism for how this specific translation actually executes. The logic fails to compile. A data patch with a broken logical bridge points directly to a deliberate overwrite of the raw source code. We can bypass those patch notes and decompile the Latin source code directly. At the base, we find the Latin variable Carus, which translates strictly to dear or precious. In Latin grammar, attaching the diminutive modifier suffix Olus or Olus to a root variable indicates possession of a trait or deep affection. Combining this root and modifier yields a clean result. Carus plus Olus equals Carolus. We validate this exact logic through the Old Germanic dataset. The root dear plus the modifier ling outputs dearling, darling, or beloved. The outputs are identical. Carolus does not derive from a random phonetic drift, meaning man. It operates as a highly precise algorithmic formula that literally translates to darling or beloved. Cross-referencing that newly decrypted output against older system files leads us straight to the metadata of an ancient avatar, the biblical King David. The checksum matches perfectly. The Hebrew name David translates directly to darling or beloved. The core metadata for King Date and the Carolus variable are a one-to-one match. Zooming out reveals a structural repetition in the timeline. The simulation generated an initial 3-generation succession loop in Antiquity: Saul, David, and Solomon. Fast forward to the medieval server, and we see an exact mirrored generation: Pepin, Charlemagne, who is Carolus, and Louis. The developers left a blatant historical Easter egg right in the text. According to his own royal court, Charlemagne was explicitly referred to as the new David. Organic linguistic evolution does not produce perfectly mirrored grammatical formulas across Hebrew, Germanic, and Latin. If the linguistic code for Charles remains static across 1,000 years of alleged history, the timeline begins to look less like a sequence of events and more like a series of pre-rendered data environments. These eras operate as lore files, pre-packaged assets designed to provide the necessary historical context for our current reality's boot-up sequence. The simulation didn't run these epochs chronologically, it compiled them all at once during its primary boot-up sequence, the period we call the Renaissance. The name Charles functions as a recurring digital signature. It provides the footprint of a reality that was compiled long after its history was written.